Negroes. You could come to a different statistic, but they can't check your foundation, so you try to check the mentalities of the economy. Maybe you could try to divide, but these roots can't find these seeds inside. So as you're trying to wake up and try to tell your own story in his life and try to follow the footprints that already washed by the sand, and as you check it for paradise, you don't recognize because everything that you see is already divided inside. So as you try and find your intention and looking and searching, you try to find that bond that the instincts can't slide, and every time to realize you're depicting a picture of your dreams that's not even in the picture. So as you paint through pastels and different pairs of dimensions, could it be the harmonies and melodies that you look for in your father, that mental bond, that connection of different type of auras and energies that key you find inside? So maybe it's the energy, my inner key. Maybe it can unlock what I try to follow in my father figure, so that man God tried the picture and then he's still drawing the canvas, but he hasn't been at your graduation or he hasn't checked your intention. So maybe your incentive, and you check for sadness, that the pain that he can't find is connection. So he comes as nature, a different type of demons and female scene. He tries to make love to his existence and he still tries to bond, but his father can't decide that he's not behind him. He tried to bow to a different law that he calls religion, and they the love and the cult, that organization. He tried to stand up in his own beginning that he can't decide, and now you recognize that your father's gone, and different types of footprints that long been lost, and that bottled message, he ain't left it. And you wake up and you become your own man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another awesome episode of On the Couch. I'm Siobhan Clark, and you just heard the awesome sounds of Mr. Dijon Simon.
I'm here with Miss Elaine Williams. You have over 18 years experience in the healthcare industry, a former police officer, and now you're the executive director for the Women's Resource Center. You have a lifetime committed to service.
That is true. As executive director of the Women's Resource Center, believe me, I'm well prepared for the work that I lead at the Women's Resource Center.
Absolutely. And explain to us the focus of the Women's Resource Center. A lot of times when we hear Women's Resource Center, we immediately assume that you only focus on physical abuse. Yes. Are you indeed a full resource center for women, or is it just for physical abuse matters?
That is absolutely correct, Siobhan, and it's part of the image that we're trying to project, that we are a full women's resource center.
Okay.
We do. The Women's Resource Center was started 25 years ago as the Rape Crisis Center.
Okay.
And we evolved into counseling women through the incidents of sexual assault and domestic violence. But nowadays, we are trying to be more proactive. Mm-hmm. I know a word that we hear in the community so much is empowerment. Mm-hmm. Well, we actually are gear our programs and our services around truly empowering women. Mm-hmm. Not just feeding them a fish, but teaching them how to fish so they can feed themselves.
Absolutely.
And our belief is that empowerment is not only about taking care of them in their situation, but then giving them the tools to take care of themselves and their families. Our motto is strong women, strong families, strong communities.
That's awesome. And speaking of communities and families, right now, of course, we have a lot of families who are dealing with the episodes or situations with gang violence, and a lot of mothers, I mean, maybe because I'm a female and a mother, I'll boldly say that when we find out, or if we even think that our child is involved in gang-like behavior, it really affects us a lot. Do you offer services for mothers who may just need some guidance, some advice?
Well, actually, we have counseling. Part of our programs is counseling. We have individual counseling where a mother can come and talk about her role as a mother, particularly parenting sons. And we also have group counseling One of our counseling groups that will be coming up in April is a series of counseling group sessions concerning self-esteem and assertiveness. We're also going to be doing partnering with another organization towards the end of the year, doing a group on incest, adult survivors of incest. But when a woman has an issue with her child, she can come and get individual counseling. If it's an issue that we feel we cannot truly provide services for, we'll be sure to refer her out.
Okay.
But on the 22nd, I believe, of this month, and those who are interested can call the center for more information and to register. We're actually doing a workshop on mothers parenting sons.
Okay, and that's the 22nd of March.
Of March.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's possible that that time has passed already. If someone wanted to acquire paraphernalia, flyers, and any information about that,
Yep.
can they come to the center and get it?
Absolutely. As well, we have a website where people can go on, and we have a calendar on there of programs that we have for the entire year. And the Mothers Parenting Sons and Fathers Parenting Daughters workshops are conducted twice a year.
Now, you mentioned incest, and I remember the movie Precious.
Yes.
I went to see the movie, and after the movie, there were several individuals who commented saying, you know, that doesn't happen in Bermuda, that just happens overseas. What, is that something that you hear of quite often?
It is quite prevalent in Bermuda, but it's also quite prevalent in the world. It's one of those dark, dirty secrets that we tend to keep, which has a lot to do with a lot of the dysfunction that we see in the world today.
Yes.
It has a lot to do with that, and it's something that we don't talk about, and it's something that needs to be talked about.
And you guys offer the resources for that?
We provide counseling for it. There's also a brand new group in Bermuda called SCARS. They're a new charity. I believe that John Brunson heads it up.
Okay.
And we are doing some work with them to make sure that this issue gets talked about, discussed, but also that people get the help that they need.
And SCARS has a website?
SCARS does have a website. I'm not certain
sure?
of it,
Okay,
but
we'll
I
look
know
it
that
up.
it's as it sounds, SCARS.
Okay, excellent. Of course, during times of economic hardship, times of hardship in general, I'm sure you see an increase of domestic abuse. What advice would you give to not the victim, the offenders of physical abuse, ways that they can cope with the stress that obviously comes along with job loss, just the tension on jobs, especially right now with the economic hardship? What advice would you give to offenders so that they don't resort to physical abuse?
Well, there are a lot of services in Bermuda that provide help to individuals during particularly stressful times. We find the issue is that people are not aware of how to get help and where to get help. As I said, the Women's Resource Center provides services particularly to women and their families. If a person who is abusing comes to us, we would most likely refer them to the Center Against Abuse, who has a program for anger management and for offenders of that nature.
Sure, okay. And do you guys take any proactive steps when you, like again, right now the whole community is going through a stressful time? Have you produced pamphlets that you have at different organizations? Do you go into different organizations and offer, sort of a group counseling session?
Sure. What we do is we go into schools.
Okay.
We also go into corporations. We have an excellent arrangement with HSBC where we go in twice a month and meet with their branch divisions and talk to people about what stress looks like and how they can handle it. If they see one of their workmates going through something that they think may be abuse, and how to deal with it, how to get them help, because it's a very sensitive situation.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about two hush-hush topics, incest and physical abuse. Bermuda is a small community, and there are many individuals who often blame the victim in an abusive situation. Oh, you should have known that he was an abuser. Why did you date him in the first place? You know, those types of conversations. What advice, or what do you say, I should say, to individuals who have that thought process when they think of people who are going through abusive situations?
That is absolutely not the truth. That abuse is a very complex issue. It can stem from an abuser's upbringing. It can stem from just not being able to cope with situations that you're normally not a part of. Losing jobs, you know, and the financial and emotional stress that brings as well. We really would advise people to just make themselves aware of how to deal with the situation. To call the Women's Resource Center, to call the Center Against Abuse, and ask, you know, how can I deal with this situation? Abuse is abused for various reasons. They abuse because of frustration. However, women who are in abusive situations, people generally judge people because they think it's really easy to get out of an abusive situation, but you stay for various reasons. Some of them are fear, some of them are financial security. We've all heard that, you know, women stay for the children, but one of the very basic reasons that women stay in an abusive situation is because they're in love with the abuser. And you know, while you could say you should leave, they have to deal with the emotional attachment as well and work through that process. And sometimes that takes help to do. And sometimes there is always the possibility of the abuser getting help and the relationship mending, or, you know, the couple working it out. So when a woman comes to the Women's Resource Center for help in those situations, we never tell them what to do. We give them their options and give them, hopefully through counseling, the strength to make their own decision, which will be best for them and their children.
Okay, thank you very much. In just a few minutes, we'll return from break, and we'll hear from Miss Elaine Williams on her thoughts on males who get abused in relationships. We'll be back shortly.
Three sides to the story. There's his side, her side, and the truth. And it's our responsibility to seek out the truth in the situation.